Hi, everyone. It's Debra Jason, author of Millionaire Marketing on a Shoestring Budget and DebraJason.com. And you're joining us on the Marketing Blab with Debra. Today, I have a very special guest who actually lives here in Colorado, not far away from me. And so I've had the good honor to meet her in person. And today she's going to share with us some of her wisdom and insights about Facebook. And Andrea, thanks for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you on my show.
Yep, awesome to be here, Deborah. Thanks. Always, I love blabbing.
You know what? I was thinking we probably should have had you just come over, and we could have been on the same screen at the same time instead of in different little boxes. But it's awesome to have you here. I'm here. Right.
Sorry, that's.
Squeeze into the box. But why don't you share with people something fun that maybe they don't know about you, or something that you want people to know that they may not know? You're pretty popular in these parts, but why don't you let us into something that's different and fun?
Different and fun. Well, I suppose I'm afraid of squirrels. Is that fun? I don't know.
Well, that's different.
A different thing is I've just been getting into stand-up comedy, so that's been a lot of fun. I did improv comedy for a long time, and I thought I'd never do stand-up, but I thought, you know what, if you say you're never going to do something, maybe that means that you should try it. So tried stand-up, and I've been doing some stand-up shows, got some stand-up shows coming up, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, and I've been to one of your stand-up shows here in Boulder. So for those of you who are in Colorado, if you have the opportunity, you're usually in Boulder or Denver doing some of that improv, right?
Yeah. So it's Boulder or Denver. Actually, on Tuesday I have a show in Denver, and then in February I have a show in Boulder. So that'll be fun.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, today we're going to talk about Facebook organic reach. And the question is it dead or alive? So why don't you share your point of view on that with us?
Yeah, it's really hard. I know there's so many people who are frustrated, irritated. If you've been on Facebook for a long time, you're probably more frustrated. If you're new to Facebook, you might be a little less frustrated because you don't know the olden days of free reach and fabulous, comments and engagement and things like that. And it's a little more challenging these days, for sure. It's those days are over. Facebook is a publicly traded company, and they're interested in getting people to pay for advertising a little bit more. But my take is really that Facebook organic reach is not completely dead. It's still out there. You can still have posts do really well. And I think it's a matter of just watching what's working well for you and repeating that and trying to figure out what resonates best with your audience. And so you just need to watch your stats and look at your insights, see what's getting the most engagement, and then just kind of repeat and figure out if you can reshare that particular thing. If it's something that you, like a blog post that did really well, you might want to think about resharing that next week. If it's some type of humor or a video or a particular type of post, then do more of that and get your audience connected. But you are gonna have to have a little Facebook budget these days. I think Facebook works much better if you have a little bit of ad budget. You can spend a little bit of money there.
Well, I think we need to clarify first that when we talk about organic reach today, we're really talking about fan pages, business pages, not personal profiles. And that's where it's really become a pay-to-play kind of platform. And thank you, Chris. Chris Strubb is saying he loves that this is a topic on Blab today. And Joshua is saying, is there such a thing anymore as organic reach? And we kind of touched on that.
There is. I think one of the things that I like to look at, and, I kind of wish we could share screens. I hope that comes to Blab here soon, because I'd love to share kind of my technique. But the thing that you want to look at is take a look at your engagement rate. in your insights. So you go to the insights area, and then you go to the posts, and then rather than looking at kind of your overall reach, look at the engage, and then comparing how much engagement you got there. Switch the view to engagement rate, and now you're seeing how engaging that post was of the people who saw it. So it's a better comparison right there. You're comparing your real, true engagement, and it's not your fault that Facebook didn't push it out a little bit further. Obviously, posts that are more engaging in general do get a little bit more organic reach there. But, sometimes it's just kind of a weird thing that's out of our control, but you want to see what's kind of engaging to your audience of the people who do see it.
Well, and actually, there's also, I think that, what's the word I'm looking for? The conversation about what's more important. Is it engagement and right. When I say engagement, it's people liking, commenting, or sharing, or is it reach?
Right.
So what's your input on that?
Yeah, reach is something we can't control. So what we can control is the type of things that we're sharing that are interesting to our audience. So, that's really what you want to look at, is that kind of engagement rate thing, and see how that's comparing. And then the other thing I likes, comments, and shares, you can people think, well, is that really important? Should I even care about that? And I think certainly it's not your top metric to be watching. Really, the ultimate goal is to be getting people over to your website and signing up to your email list. Really, is my top goal. That may not be everyone's top goal, but as a marketer and as a business, that is my top goal, because the email list is then mine. It's not dependent on reach. It's not dependent on other things. I guess it's dependent on email deliverability, whatever. But email is still one of the best ways to reach people these days. So,
well, and I think you brought up a good point, that as many fans as you may have or friends that you may have, you really, if Facebook for whatever reason should go bye-bye one day, you want to still make sure you've got those people as fans on your email list. It's great to have them on Facebook, but to try to get them over to your website and have them opt in to a free offer or something that you've got that's worth, that has value to them, that provides them with helpful information is important. But I want to touch, I know one of the people who is watching today is Robert Nissenbaum, and Robert's on the West Coast. And he said, he still has an organic reach of over 18% and an average engagement rate of 12%. And Robert was a guest on the Blab a couple of weeks ago, talking about some of that organic reach, which, I think we all kind of got spoiled.
Yeah. Yes. And I work with pages that have really big organic reach. And I think for a lot of more niche businesses, sometimes like a B2B, it's more challenging. If you've got a wider consumed product, you could have, definitely, I think a lot of times reach isn't dead. I see some mom blogger sites where I've looked at their insights, and it's insane. Their organic reach is still going gangbusters. Now it's not where it used to be. Obviously it's decreasing quite a bit, but it's still there. It's still they're still getting it. It's still valuable, and I think it's just a little bit dependent on your niche. And I think if you are in a place where your organic reach is totally tanked, you gotta think outside. Think of different things you could possibly do. Really take a deep dive into your analytics to see where things are resonating with your audience, and see if you can tweak some of your sharing strategy.
Well, and we have Anita here who is saying, where did it go? She said she had a post last week that got 100,000 reach, 2,600 shares with a fan base of only 16,000. So, right. And now she's saying that post was for pizza.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, humor. I don't know what the pizza post was about, but
right.
it really it really can be humor does really well, and I think it is important to keep humor as a part of our strategy on social media because that's what people are hanging out there to do. Even if your brand is not is more serious, I think there's ways that you can add humor in. I mean, my gosh, you don't want to be a total stick in the mud, you know, stiff person. I think every business can use humor in some ways to help their reach. And the question becomes then, what does that really do for my business? It's really about getting in front of people and being top of mind with them. Maybe it's not you wouldn't want to have all your posts humorous, clearly,
right?
But it's one of the tools that should be in your toolbox, I think, for sure.
Well, and of course, you, who is a comedian, probably have great tips and tricks for, using humor. Unlike some of us who I don't feel like I'm all that funny. Some people might say I am, but I'm a little more sedate, I think. But there's a blend not just of the humor, but I think one thing you might want to touch on is a blend of how much of it should be, I forget what the algorithm is, but how much of it should be selling versus just value.
Yeah. I mean, it's the 80-20 people talk about. I used to say more 10%, 90%, 10% selling, 90%. But I really think it depends on like what is really selling. I don't often post a lot about selling on my site. I'll maybe post once or twice, but I do a little bit more focused selling through my email list. So my main focus is getting people over to my email list. So that's really where I think the value of social media is. You can reach those targeted people and connect with them. And I think, it's then you also want to talk about mixing all of your profiles and kind of connecting with people, not necessarily just on your fan page, but in groups on your personal profile. And I think who was it that was just saying that? Robert was maybe just saying, connecting with people where they're at, and they're in Facebook groups a lot of time. They're in hanging out and connecting with people personally. I think is valuable too.
Well, and I think in Facebook groups, you have to be careful as well about what you're sharing, because some people have a tendency to go to the group and say, buy me, buy me, buy me. And other people take the time to build relationships. If you've ever heard me talk about marketing, and of course, social media marketing is about building relationships and nurturing relationships. And so when you're in those groups, it's a matter of taking the time to do that. There are certain groups, I'm in one group, where it's called shameless mutual promotion. So it's about going in there and promoting other people and helping them get their message out, whether it's about a podcast or a blab that's happening. So I think the thing about groups is to be careful about what you're posting and how you're posting within the group.
Yeah, for sure.
And Robert is saying, groups are phenomenal. He said, use them as a networking opportunity to build relationships and add value. So why don't you, because I know you and I chatted briefly offline about the whole group thing. One thing that I'm discovering is kind of like LinkedIn. There are only so many groups that you can actually take the time to get involved in.
Yeah, very true. And groups, I mean, the good thing about Facebook groups is they get way more visibility than Facebook pages, unfortunately. But so some of the options are to, I've seen a lot of businesses creating kind of user groups of their products, kind of, where they're sharing ideas in there. You can also join other groups of like-minded people. And connect in there. I know there's lots of local groups. I have a local group here in my town and area that was started by an insurance agent, and as a kind of benefit to the area, which is perfect because he's drawing local people into it, people that he can then connect with, and he's the leader of that group and kind of more visible in that group. The challenge is the group has grown so large that he needs to have monitors in there all the time, because people are posting spam stuff, even though there's lots of group rules, and they have to kick people out. People get into arguments, and it gets a little ugly sometimes. So the moderators have to kind of be in there pretty full time. So there's good and bad things about a group, is that everyone's posts have a lot of visibility, not just your own. So you have to watch what is being posted and kind of control that.
Well, and Josh here has made a comment. Let's see what your take is on it. Josh is saying, don't be surprised when you have to pay to get reach in your groups too. Do you think that's
that could be coming. I think that Facebook has to be very careful with that, but they have to know that pages and businesses are creating these groups for just that reason, because that their pages are getting less organic reach. So I think they will probably figure out some different way of controlling that algorithm, so that it's not everyone jumping ship and going into groups. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
How they take that. Yeah. Well, let's touch a little bit. I know we're talking about organic reach, but a lot of people still are going, okay, if it's pay to play, how much do I pay and what do I pay? So would you touch a little bit on Facebook ads and, what can you expect from that, and what's a good budget to maintain, or should people do it? What's the benefit?
Yeah, and I saw someone posting about how they would have to spend $6,000 a month to get the reach they got organically now with ads. And it's a big problem if you have a huge page. You can't you try and boost a post and you're still not reaching a lot of your audience. But what you want to do is really analyze those posts that are already doing well and boost the naturally engaging content. I'm not a huge fan of the boost post, other than just going directly out to your own fans. I have a whole article on that, on when you should and shouldn't boost a post, and we got into some arguments in the comments on what I said. I said you should never boost a post to anyone except for your fans, but there were some dissenting opinions there.
Oh no!
I'm gonna actually see if I can share that really quick. But
okay.
So I think spending a little bit of your budget on I would suggest boosting a post to your fans only once a week, and whatever budget you determine on that. Some pages who have a smaller fan base can get really good results with just like $5 or $10 on that. They can reach a lot, a decent percentage of their audience, other than what they've already reached. So that can be a strategy. If you've got a larger page, then I would say using the boosted posts just once in a while, and kind of working on your total marketing budget that you have for Facebook, and spending maybe about 10% to 20% of your marketing budget on boosting your posts to your fans to get those people re-engaged. You want to spend 70% of your budget, your marketing budget on Facebook, in getting people subscribed to your email list. So offering something really good for free that they can go download if they give you their email address.
So, for example, Josh just posted $5 got him a reach of about 1,400. Now, just because you reach those people, though, does that mean they're engaging with you? Are they commenting?
Right.
Or so you've reached them, but you really want to draw them in and start to build that relationship. And I think what I just heard you say is, if you offer them something where they can go to your website and opt in, then you're not just getting reach, you're also starting to get engagement on a different level, which is getting their email address.
Right. So, that's really where, and here's the boosted post article I have. So,
okay.
You spend your money to get them away from Facebook. Yeah. Yeah. Webinars do really well. But I really suggest, I have some clients I'm working with right now where we were advertising a webinar, not getting great cost per opt-in, was costing us, $3-4 per opt-in on the webinar, which, can be good for some industries, but for this, I felt like it was a little too much to spend. So what they did is they turned that webinar, which is an evergreen webinar, into an ebook and just had it transcribed, had it formatted, put it as an ebook, and got way better opt-ins. So, test that as well. Test the different formats. Maybe your audience responds better to an ebook rather than they're like, oh, I can't sit through an hour webinar, So, try different things and see what gets you a better cost per conversion.
Well, and that's the good old adage of test, test, test.
Yep, for sure.
And so see what works for you. And like you were saying earlier, go check out what your engagements are. And, it's also finding out, Robert and I once had this conversation on a Blab about what time to post. Are there certain times that work better than other times? I don't know if you have an opinion about that, but kind of what we were discussing is, well, kind of look at the engagement and see when are people engaging with you. And
right.
This might be a little different because I'm talking about my profile page, and I know you do this some mornings, but we post a good morning post. And sometimes if it's really early, I find a lot of people are there saying hello, and I'm like, really, you're awake already? I'm still in bed. And you're you're already out running, so.
Yeah. I mean, times to post. Your Facebook page shows you that when your users are online, when you go to the posts, and it's interesting. For the most part, I've seen very similar time frames. Usually, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. But I've actually seen some people that have a bigger spike in the evening, where maybe their audience is at work, and they're after work they really hop on Facebook and connect. I was at this workshop. I was delivering a workshop yesterday, and their audience was gamers, and so they had a big evening spike to them. My people, get up early, and if you have an international audience, that changes, and so you have to just kind of take a look and see what works, or see what your audience is responding to.
Well, I
also find that I post something late at night, like, hey, who's up working, and tons of connections there.
Well, and I find there are people overseas that are, and people who post, I can't sleep, who's out there? And guess what? A lot of people are out there.
Right. Right.
So I'm putting in the comments section a link to, you have a Facebook ad secrets program. So I just wanted to let people know about that. If they go to debrajason.com/FB ad secrets, you'll find out about a program that Andrea offers regarding that. Do you want to just touch a little bit about what that program is?
Yeah, so that is really kind of walking people through. I know we're talking about organic reach here, but like I said, Facebook is really, you do need to have some ad budget there. And the course really walks you through how to set up your advertising budget, how to work your ads connected to your goals so that you're running the right ad to get the best opt-in, the best sales, the best conversions, all that stuff. So you're not mismatching the ad type with what you really want to get out of Facebook. And then also just really understanding how to do split testing so that you know what's working better for you. And then we go into the Power Editor in Module 4. So tons of awesome content in there. Yeah.
I want to touch on something again. Robert made a comment, we were talking about when people engage, but he brought up that different types of content resonates with different sections of your audience. Yeah. So really knowing what people like.
Yeah, for sure. And, the thing is, video is going to be huge in 2016, as we're doing right now. So video content does really well on Facebook. Facebook Live is huge if you have an iPhone. I don't. Little mad about that. But definitely but that's only on personal profiles. So that's why you kind of need a blend of your page, your personal profile, and groups. And also you can only participate in groups as your personal profile. So blending all those together can really give you much better results on Facebook. But yeah, video is really big. So if you can, make some quick videos, and it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be super professional, and just upload those. A lot of people haven't turned off the autoplay, so it's eye-catching when someone's moving around. Anyway, yeah.
Well, so Mike, our buddy Mike has a question. He's saying, in your program, do you talk about how to not get busted by Facebook for out-of-compliance ads? He says he's been seeing a lot of people griping about how Facebook will kill an ad and doesn't tell them why. So what's your experience with that?
Yeah, so we actually talk, so with the program, there's the whole, there's a Facebook group where we talk about individual ads, and people will post their ads in there and say, why was this denied? And we analyze it and things like that. A lot of the compliance issues will first of all come around text on the image. So you have to use the text overlay tool to measure that text. And some people think that they can eyeball the 20% of maximum text, but you can't eyeball it. You have to use this text overlay tool to measure it. But then the other compliance issues are things like diets. Anytime you mention weight, if you call out someone's specific characteristics. I know that I was running some ads for a lawyer, and they were talking about, you might have something, and so they didn't approve that. So you have to talk in more generalities. And some, of course, then there's cigarettes, alcohol, guns, that kind of thing. So, but sometimes it's crazy, and you just have to. I say, I don't know why that was not approved, and then resubmit it or dispute it, and it goes through. So they're sometimes coming a little too hard on the hammer with the disapproval, and you have to resubmit it, and they have to take a second look at it.
Well, thank you for answering that for our buddy Mike. Mike wants to jump. Let's see. Why don't we open up some seats? And if anybody wants to jump in and ask a question of Andrea live, that would be fun. And also, since we're talking about live, real quickly, I have my phone nearby. So can you tell me, how do you access Facebook Live on your phone? Because I don't think it's available to everyone yet, is it?
It's not quite available to everyone, and you'll know you have it if you can go to your iPhone and you go to add a status update, and you see a little video icon instead, and that's showing you that there's live.
Oh, okay. So when I go to where it says "What's on your mind," right now it just says write something, photo/video. GIF, music, feeling, or check in. So would it say Facebook Live if I had that?
Yes, you would have let me just double check, because it's, I think it's a little video icon that you have there. I can't see that. I'm like,
oh, here's where it's at. Whoops. So yeah, I don't see, right now it says photo video right there.
Yeah, so that's uploading a photo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I don't have it yet.
No, you don't.
Okay.
So
I put the URL for your Facebook Ad Secrets program in there, and Rob is saying, well, that's for your program, but he wants to join your list. So if someone wants to join your list, where should they go? Should it be AndreaVahl.com?
Yeah, it's a big opt-in right at the top there is at AndreaVahl.com.
Okay, so let's put that in here. VAH. Okay. So, Rob, if you want to opt into her list, go to AndreaVahl.com. It's in the comment section now. And Ben, thank you for showing that image. It's kind of hard for me to see that. But he says, if you want Mike is saying if you want Facebook Live, or if you have it, it's a little head with two rainbow type looking stripes over the top. That sounds
so Ben put the icon in there. So if you look at that, Ben put that, has it in there. So expand that image, and you'll see that information.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, it says new, record and share live video.
Yep. Yep.
Thanks, Ben. That's awesome. So,
yeah.
Yes, Mike, I just clicked on the image and it popped up a new window. Nancy has a question. And I think I know the answer, but you're the Facebook pro. Nancy's saying, is Facebook Live only for verified pages? And I think that's changed now. It can be for personal profiles, correct?
Right. So on pages, though, that is rolling out less, or is anyone else hearing an echo? I'm like totally getting an echo. On pages, there is for verified pages, it's rolling out to select pages, but for personal profiles, it's for iOS users, and that is also still rolling out. You'll know you have it when you look at that image on your phone, and you can then broadcast.
I think I just found it right now because I just clicked on something that says go live on Facebook. Capture and share the moment as it's happening. After you're finished, your video will stay on your timeline. So guess what? I
got it. Great. We could do Facebook Live of the Blab, and then I'll Periscope it, and then.
So let's see. I don't know if we can do this. Here we are, live on Facebook. Kind of hard to do it this way. Maybe if I do it this way. Oh, look, here I am. Here I am live with Andrea Vahl. This is my first Facebook Live with Andrea Vahl, the Facebook Authority. So thanks for jumping. We're on a Blab right now. If you go to blabwithdebra.com, you might have to search for the on-air Blab with Andrea Vahl and myself. So thanks for stopping by. I'm going to click off this Facebook Live now and see what happens. But thanks, you guys. Now I just discovered I have Facebook Live.
Yeah. Awesome. So now, a big question I think people are asking is what's going to be, and then there's also now this, what is it? Not Me TV. It's,
it's like there's something called MeV.
That's it, MeV. And there's MeV, and there's Facebook Live, and there's Periscope, and there's all kinds of things.
Blab,
What's going to survive? I really think Facebook Live has got a huge leg up over a lot of these other things, even though Periscope was a little bit more earlier to the market than Facebook Live is. I think that just with the sheer numbers, and they're doing a lot of cool things with Facebook Live.
Well, and we've got Josh, who I think is being a little joker and saying, what about MySpace? Hey, Mike.
Good morning, ladies. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. Good. Thank you for asking. A couple of new updates that just happened. Yes, you're correct, ladies. MeV is live. It is going to be one of the very first revenue generation live streaming apps that is out there. So it's going to actually have a pay to play opportunity that pays you back. So I've been looking at it since its inception. It's still very glitchy, still has some growth problems, and it, in my humble opinion, got released way too early. But the guy behind it has some really deep connections with sports teams and on-air personalities and the like. And he used to be, of all things, a financial planner for those people in those sets back in New York. So he's got some deep pockets to run and play with on MeV app. The other thing about the new Facebook Live option is now it's recording on the side, which I know I'm all totally bleached out because I'm up here in this amazing Colorado sunshine this morning. But if you switch your phone from this way,
that would be good.
Yeah, this direction to this direction, you can actually read the comments. If you have your phone on the left-hand side, you can read the comments. It'll still keep eye contact with you and allow you to have that in 1080p. So some new things coming out on that front. But I just want to pop in and say thank you both. You guys always spread value with all your messaging that you both do, Andrea and Debra both. So I just want to come out and say thanks. And I'm going to get out of here and let someone else come on.
Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I should do it like that. I was busy doing it like that. But thanks, Mike, for jumping on board. A MeV link. I don't know, is it mev.com or I think it's MeV. Let's see if we can find it. Right now, I'm not going the Meavy route because I'm still working on, let's see if we can find it. I'm still working on Blab, you know?
Yeah.
Like you just saw, I didn't have Facebook. I didn't think I had Facebook Live, but I guess I do. And Tracy is saying that Mike Stelzer, for those of you, well, Andrea knows him with Social Media Examiner, did a blab about Meavy this morning. So if you search Blab for Michael Stelzner, you could probably find his blab about Meavy. And Mike Baltus, thank you. Mike just put the URL in there. It's MEVE.com. So let's get back to the topic of Facebook. Since we got a little sidetracked there. If anyone else has questions, you can jump on board, and we've got an open seat. We still have a little bit of time left. But, you know, one of the things that comes up for people who are doing Facebook ads is the power editor. And should they use the power editor or shouldn't they? So would you touch on that, Andrea?
Yeah, so I was just also going to mention, I think one of the questions was Meavy is iOS only, and that is correct. It's Android's coming in about a month, I guess is what I heard. So, and Facebook Live is supposed to be coming to Android early 2016, which in my mind is now. So, you know, I would like to have that right now because they said early 2016. But yeah, so let's talk about Power Editor a little bit and how that can help when you need to use it, when you don't. I think one of the misconceptions is that Power Editor is the only way you should be running Facebook ads, and I disagree with that. I think that you can create really great ads that are very well targeted in the Ads Manager. They just added into the Ads Manager one of the features that was only available in Power Editor, which is the and/or targeting. So you can target that someone likes bananas and kiwi, you know, if that's your market. They have to like both of those things, or they could like bananas or kiwi if you kind of are more open to just kiwi lovers, you know. So I don't know why I give that example, it's so bizarre, but whatever.
You like bananas and you like kiwi.
You know, so the main reason I think you want to use Power Editor is because you have longer text available in the ad itself. So a website click ad, or if you're running a website conversion ad, you can have longer text than the 90 characters you're limited to in the Ads Manager and the 25 character headline. Now, I've actually also heard that some people have been getting access to longer text in the Ads Manager lately. And I don't know if they're rolling that out or if that's a glitch or something. I didn't have access to that, so I wasn't able to get that myself. So, you know, I don't know. What happens in Power Editor usually comes up to the Ads Manager. So that, you know, that's something that's worth waiting for. You know, sometimes that you don't have to worry about not getting any of those features. They usually kind of push the best features up that they've tested in the Power Editor, but Power Editor gets them first usually. So that's one of the good reasons to use Power Editor. But the main reason is to have access to that longer text if you want your ad to look a little longer.
So Scott, we have Scott jumping in here asking some questions about Google. We're really talking about Facebook today, Scott, but I'll put this out there real quickly in case Andrea does know something. He's asking about Google grants for nonprofit or using AdWords for nonprofit. Yeah. Is that something that you can touch on real briefly?
Yeah, that is a really cool feature that they are letting nonprofits do some more advertising, and they're giving grants for that. So nonprofits have the ability to tap into some free advertising, and you have to apply. And John Hayden, who's a expert on that, kind of put a blog post up on that, and I will find that. And I'll let you know. But that's really cool. If you are a nonprofit, you can apply for that and hopefully get get some advertising dollars.
Well, Scott says he gets $10,000 a month to use. So, Scott, what's your nonprofit?
Wow.
Yeah, Scott, you want to jump? Oh, he's Hope to Haiti. He's the founder and CEO, doing what he can to help people in Haiti.
Yeah.
Scott, if you want to jump in, and here we go. Let's bring Scott in here.
Wait.
Hi,
Scott.
Hi, Scott.
I don't think we can hear you.
We can't hear you. Nope. Can't hear you.
Go up to the top and select which. There's a little movie icon in the
address bar.
Yep, in the bar, and go switch on which microphone you're using.
Little camera up in your address bar. If you click on the camera, it'll have default. What microphone? What camera are you using? The other option is just to pull out your headphones and see if we can hear you then. No.
Yeah, I know. I do know that.
Yeah,
yep.
we can't share screen, so I can't show you. But if you go up to the address bar where the URL is, see a little camera. We're all cheering for you, Scott. So click on that camera and see if it's using the right, if it's accessing the right microphone for you. I've had the issue before once or twice as well.
Yeah.
And if you,
I know,
yeah,
I think if you problems with my microphone selecting too. So sometimes it's a matter of coming in, coming back out.
I was going to say sometimes you have to leave and come back. So let's see if it works this time. But thanks, for those of you who are watching, thanks for being patient.
Are you
there?
Yay! There we go.
Awesome. So hi there, Scott. So tell us about what you're doing and how you're getting this grant.
You know,
Whoa.
that was not me.
I don't know. I think it might be you.
I know.
Well, now everyone's saying try headphones.
Yeah, right?
If I got the microphone, maybe that'll work.
He's saying put the headphones back. Robert, hey, Robert, thanks for being here.
I know.
And Mike's going, it's you, Scott. We never want it to be us, but, you know, such is life. So we'll see if we can get Scott back on here. We do have a seat if anyone else wants to jump on board and ask a question.
Here's an article about the Facebook ad grants as well, and how
awesome.
How you use that. So that hopefully will help in the meantime.
All right, how about now?
Oh,
awesome.
Much better.
Cool. Yeah, we got the grant last August. We've been in Haiti 9 years. Started feeding children, then moved to clean water. The earthquake happened, of course. We opened 2 orphanages after that. And we have about 4,000 kids a day that we feed through our schools and doing clean water, community building, a little bit of everything. So, but we got the Google grant, and I've got some guys with experience using it, and we're getting, you know, a lot of hits on our site, but not converting. And conversion for us is a donation. So I realize you're talking about Facebook now, but anyway.
Well, but Andrea put in the comments section a link to a Facebook about Facebook grants for nonprofits. So you might check that out, Scott.
Oh, I didn't know Facebook did that.
Oh, so you're getting Google grants. Okay,
yes.
Interesting. Okay, so Facebook has grants now as well. So you may want to check that out.
Cool.
That may be that may be some better targeting for you, because you know you can target people who are, you know, more likely to donate based on their profile versus a Google search, which would be on
Right.
search terms. So that would be interesting. So are you sending those people on your Google ads straight to the donation page?
Well, it's straight to the home page, and there's the donate link right there. So yeah,
Okay.
so we wanted them to see the content, wanted them to see the photos, the videos, everything we're doing, and then hopefully encourage them to then get on board.
Right. Yeah, so
All right,
that's interesting. And then the other thing that would be interesting too is that you've got Facebook retargeting. So as you're using these, as you're using the grant money, you can build up that audience of people. Even if they don't click donate, you can at least reach them again. That's one of the things I really like about retargeting, because all of your dollars are then kind of not necessarily wasted, because you are capturing that audience in a way. So even for people who say, well, I'm not getting any signups to my email list, you're still actually capturing a lot of that traffic. So that's a cool thing.
Very good. Well, I'll hop off if somebody else wants to hop back on. I'll stay in the room though.
Well, thanks. I'm glad we got your technology worked out. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing your experience. So great.
All right.
See you. Anyone else want to hop on with some?
Yeah, we've got Robert. We've got Robert jumping on board here. Robert's calling in from the West Coast. If we can get him. There he is. Hey, we can see you. Sometimes
I know,
Robert
I finally disabled
backwards.
I know, I disabled it. I had enough of it. So my own tech issues. A couple things on the reach piece of it. One is understanding that people know what reach actually measures, because it's only what's being seen in a feed. It's not being seen when people visit your page or get to your page from another method. So on some hand, reach is still not telling you the full measure of who's actually seeing your content.
Yeah.
And the other thing I found for a lot of pages where they have high fan counts, and that have gone out on these fan building quests where they keep asking everybody and anybody to like their pages. At some point, they're really diluting their target market and their target audience. And with Facebook looking to show content and feeds to when it's relevant to the audience, if you have 10,000 fans and only 1,000 of them are your direct target market, that's probably going to limit the ability to be seen. And then it's a matter of that reach, how many of them are getting to your actual potential customer.
Right. Yeah, I think the other thing that people don't understand about it too is that sometimes they're looking at likes, shares, comments as the measure, but really there's also link clicks. A lot of my posts will not get a lot of engagement on them, personally, but I look and dive a little deeper, and people are clicking on the website link. So that's also engagement in that way. That's kind of some hidden engagement sometimes that you're not necessarily looking at and seeing quite as visibly. And so when I analyze like a group of Facebook posts for stats, I make sure that I'm capturing each one of that. When you download your insights, it kind of has links, clicks, it has likes, comments, and shares on one tab, and then link clicks, other clicks, and I forget what the other column is on a different tab. And I add those two together so I know and then I rank them and sort them so that I know which posts were truly the most engaging, and then I can also sort by which post drove the most traffic. So I actually have I have a whole blog post on how to do a deep dive into your Facebook insights there too. So that kind of pulls all of that method together where you're, downloading your insights over a 6-month period, you're adding all the stats together that are really relevant to engagement, and then you are ranking that and sorting that.
Yeah, it's a good point about that indirect effect, because you can also go into insights without even downloading, I think, and actually click on each individual post in the insights, and it'll give you website.
Yeah.
So for me, and there are a lot of businesses, a lot of brands that aren't going to get engagement. I mean, a mental health professional is potentially not going to get engagement because somebody doesn't want to make it public, but that doesn't mean they aren't seeing and aren't following links back. So for me, I've had posts where no limited reach or engagement and still drove 30 or 40, clicks to the website. So for me, that's my end goal.
Yeah.
I don't need the other piece of it, but, again, really dialing your content helps get it to where it goes. Again, it's that relevant, timely, and shareable.
Yeah.
That's where the humor gets through. And at least if somebody sees it because you post something humorous and they come back to your page later and see the content you really want to get across. Yeah. No reach on that, but you still did the job.
Yeah, that's good. Great points for sure.
Thanks for sharing that, Robert. I think one thing, Robert, you've talked about in the past is that engagement. How do I want to say this? One thing I think you do is that you go to other people's posts and comment on them a lot. And you find that as a result, then they come back to you because of comments you've made on someone else's as opposed to your own posts. Did I get that right?
Yeah, and it's the same thing that you do in regular networking. I'm out meeting people, I'm out going, I'm out offering value. You can do it as your business on other business pages. You can do it as yourself on business pages and in groups. Yeah. If you over time build those relationships, interact, add value to conversations, people are naturally curious. They're going to want to come back and see who you are. They track back to your profiles or your pages. So I'm more about, for me at least, driving people back to my profile or the page rather than trying to get them to see every individual post. For me, that's just a whole lot more work.
Yeah.
A lot less fun.
Well, I mean, you definitely bring up a good point about commenting on other people's stuff, because I find that if you're struggling to get engagement, go out and engage on someone else's stuff first. Go out and find some great places to participate and participate in their network first. That's how I grew my page initially, is I was out, commenting on larger pages that had my target audience and connecting there. And we all know that as page owners, we appreciate when someone comments. We're like, oh, thank God someone's listening. So thank you. I know. It gets you some value too, and then it would then encourage them to participate with you as well. So, don't feel like you have to always be the leader. You could be the participant in the conversation.
And that's usually where I am. A lot more fun to do that, I think, than worry about trying to get people to see my posts.
Yeah.
At least I'm going out where everybody else is, and it's that whole be social piece of it.
Yeah.
So, I know some of it, not necessarily for target demographic, but one of the best places to get yourself noticed real quick. Any pages like local zoos and aquariums where thousands of comments on any given post, news sites, at least you can get your business, your name seen very quickly. And it's just one more potential touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't think to go to a zoo site, but that's probably not where my audience is hanging out. But
no, but for me at least, it's part of that local networking, because I'll see the local business potentially, or they'll see me. So it's still visibility, and over time, that visibility potentially brings back in. So.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. You've had some.
I think for local businesses, they really should be participating on all the other local pages. Make a list of 5 to 10 pages that you're going to go out and regularly participate on. And, using the Facebook page home feed is a really good way to make that easier. So you go out, you like their pages, you just log in as your page, and now you use the home feed on your page to go out and easily go comment on those.
Yep.
Thank you for the reminder, because I always forget about those, and then occasionally I'm on my page and it's like, oh, there's all this stuff for other people's pages that I have forgotten to take a peek at. I just wait for it to show up in my news feed. So good point.
But the other thing I also use it for is I like a lot of pages that are either similar businesses or potential partner businesses. Obviously local if I can, but again, it's an easy way for me to find content that's shareable. So not only am I limiting the amount of effort I have to put into finding content, others are doing it for me, but by sharing it from somebody else, I'm generating some additional exposure for them. That influencer marketing piece, so to speak. So
well, and I do notice you often do share content from other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for both of us. It's less work for me and exposure for them. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I'm just noticing in the comments, our buddy Scott with Hope to Haiti said the Facebook grants are currently closed.
Oh,
That's good. Good to know, because I'm sure they had a lot of applications. So
I'm gonna jump out in case somebody wants to pop in real quick.
Thanks for coming in, Robert. It was great to see you.
Yep. Thanks.
So I'm going to drop in another link on what to do in response to. Oh no, this was how and why to like other pages as your page. So if you if you're not sure how to do that and why to do that post kind of explains it, because if you like another page as your page, it makes it easier for you to comment on those pages, kind of monitor that home feed when you've logged in as your page, so that you can then easily, streamline that activity for you.
Here's a question about that. Do you recommend that it's better to comment as your page or to comment as your personal profile?
I recommend commenting.
Is there a right time for each?
I mean, there could be a right time for each if you feel like you're maybe a little bit off-brand with your comment or something like that. You want to make it more personal. But I like commenting mostly as my page on other pages. Sometimes I will, if I just, out of making it easier, I just make a quick comment. I have a lot of, I'm more open to connections on my Facebook personal profile. So for me, if I can get either connection, that's fine. But I think also Grandma Mary, as she's commenting on other people's profiles, she's a little interesting, where people are like, what's that about?
Well, and Scott from Hope to Haiti is saying, well, what about in my case? Should I comment as Hope to Haiti or as my personal Facebook profile?
I would definitely comment as Hope to Haiti. I think that is very interesting and engaging. I would be like, oh, what's that? And it definitely would attract me over to that page to learn more about it.
Well, and Robert made a comment as well. He said he comments as his page for exposure and personal when potential conflict. And he also said that posting as yourself gives them access to your audience. So Scott is saying thank you for those tips. And Andrea, for those of you who are watching the comments, just put another link in there for a link about organic reach.
Yep. So that's another blog post I wrote about really what to do in response to organic reach. And what's interesting, I just realized that there's something interesting. I embedded a post in there. Oh, I know why. Okay.
What?
I embedded a Facebook post in there, and now it says the post is no longer available. I know it was from a page that got deleted. So something interesting, always interesting to maintain your older posts and watch that everything's still live and everything. So, yeah.
We have a question, Andrea. Do you see that question, Josh?
Yeah, so there's a lot of people who are talking about that like they're worried about boosting posts because they feel like then Facebook sees that and then drops your organic reach for the rest of your posts. There's lots of conspiracy theories around Facebook. I really haven't seen that. I did some experiments with a large page where we tried boosting some posts, and we were watching the organic reach, and it didn't go down on that page. I think it's possible it's coincidence. I like to try and think the best about Facebook, and that they're not, completely evil and doing these type of things, so they're making us all spend money. But I think that it'd be interesting to know, it'd be interesting to analyze and see, were you doing anything differently? Any possible things changed? Looking at your ad or your over time, did it pop back up at all? be interested to know.
Well, it kind of goes back to, testing and see what's going on and,
Yeah.
paying attention
Yeah,
to
and Joshua is saying that he's seen that there's studies that haven't seen that correlation either. And I haven't done widespread testing on large pages, but I've seen some people who say they noticed something, and I've tested myself on large pages and haven't seen that. So I don't know.
Well, we're coming up on the hour mark, and I want to respect your time. So if no one else has any questions, we're going to wrap it up here. And I want to one more time just let people know about your program. So if they want to go to debrajayson.com/FBAdSecrets, I'm putting that in the comment section. And want to thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Scott, for jumping on board, and Robert for jumping on board. I won't be blabbing next Friday because I'm going to be at what we call the Denver Tweeps, which is a lunch of people that have connected on Twitter. So I'll be back. Oh, God, February is around the corner. And
oh my gosh.
I know. It's like, wait, how did that happen? But I have also asked Andrea if she would talk to maybe Grandma Mary and see if we can get Grandma Mary on the show. So stay tuned, and we'll see. We could see her if she's not too cranky one day to join us. But
this isn't too early, so she might be able to.
So again, everyone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording shortly, but if you want to jump, stay on board for a little bit and chat, I'll stay here. I don't know if Andrea has time, but again, Thank you for joining the Marketing Blab with Debra, and thank you, Andrea Vahl, for being here today. She's provided several links to posts that you'll find valuable regarding Facebook. And again, if you're interested in her program, go to debrajayson.com/FBAdSecrets. And thanks, everybody, for being here. Greatly appreciate it.
Yep. Bye, everyone. Thank you.